All right, guys. So, MAGA is completely and utterly falling apart. As you know, the commentariat are just at each other's throats. I should point out, they are not falling apart at the lower level. When it comes to Republican voters, they are all very clearly pro-Trump. Like, it is not close. It was about 53% of the base supported war with Iran beforehand. Then after Trump did it, it shot up to between 80 and 90%. Okay? He still got them bitches on lock. On lock. Well, guess what? Look at just how much the world of the commentators is imploding. So Cuckturd says here, Trump's earpiece, Laura Loomer, calls Tucker Carlson Ayatollah Tucker. Says Tara Reid is a whore that lied about Biden. Calls Glenn Greenwald a flaming homosexual commie and Megyn Kelly grandma groiper. Candace then calls Loomer Larry and butt-ass ugly. MAGA civil war. So here we go. Laura says this. I love how Ayatollah Tucker is pretending like he doesn't know what FARA is. Tucker's playing dumb, pretending like he doesn't know what unregistered foreign lobbying is. As I told the Trump administration, it's time for the administration to start taking FARA seriously. Oh, really, Laura? Does that also cut in your direction when it comes to Israel? Or does it only cut in the direction of people who are anti-war? But Ayatollah Tucker, more. Laura says, Glenn Greenwald says, that Israel's most subversive foreign agents are trying to imprison American journalists for the crime of criticizing their sacred country is sickening enough. And then he goes on from there. Laura says, you're a flaming homosexual communist who lives in Brazil because you hate America. What do you know about America first? Stick to getting your ass plugged on video in your kink humiliation rituals? Leave America first to actual Americans who are proud to live in the U.S. I don't know, Laura. You seem to be much more of an Israel firster than an America firster to everybody with a fucking brain. Tara Reid says, wow, I am a 62-year-old grandmother who was sexually assaulted by Biden in 1993 while in my 20s. Attacking my looks or me will not deter me for calling your Mossad Zionist ass out for false reports. And she goes on. Laura says, you're going to have to accomplish more in your life aside from telling a sob story about how Joe Biden allegedly fingered you for you to gain any respect from me. Nobody, I repeat, nobody cares about your inability to close your legs. Jesus Christ. You are a defector living in Russia who accuses Jewish Americans of being Mossad. Also, it's not a false report to contact the FBI and DOJ and submit concerns about U.S. citizens who are engaged in what appears to be unregistered foreign lobbying for our adversaries. You live in Russia and continue your lie that living in Russia is safer than living in the U.S. under President Trump, so you won't understand. Jesus Christ. Then we have Candace replying here. I say this with the utmost respect in the world, but you are way too butt-ass ugly to be commenting on Megyn Kelly's looks. She objectively looks at least a decade younger than you do, Larry, respectfully submitted. So I think what's happening there is Candace is transvestigating Laura and calling her Larry. I think that's what's happening there. And they called Megyn Kelly grandma groiper, I guess. But, oh my God, this is delicious, man. Now, let me get to my favorite part of the feud, though, because Megyn Kelly erupted on Mark Levin. Like, the worst warmonger in the country these days, Mark Levin. Ready? Micro-penis Mark. Megyn Kelly ratchets up nasty feud with Mark Levin. So I'll scroll down here. Mark Levin says, poor Megyn Kelly, an emotionally unhinged, lewd, and petulant wreck. She's completely revealed and destroyed herself. She's everything people say she is, but much worse. Never an intelligent, thoughtful, or substantive comment. Utterly toxic. Then Megyn Kelly chimes in, micro-penis Mark Levin thinks he has the monopoly on lewd. He tweets about me obsessively in the crudest, nastiest terms possible, literally more than some stalkers I've had arrested. He doesn't like it when women like me fight back because of his micropenis. Mark Levin says, busy Sunday morning for Megyn Kelly. She wakes up and has micropenis on her mind. I like how he fucking tried to censor penis here. Come on, man. How old are you? Fucking 65? Like 70? You're fucking censoring this? This is X. This is Twitter. Like, you're allowed to say this shit. Suffice to say, if it talks like a harlot and posts like a harlot, it's, well, you know the rest. Shalom. This motherfucker said harlot. What is it, 1843? Are you in the saloon down by the old crick? Fucking harlot? Oh, my God. So, bro, they're going at it, dog. These people are going, they hate each other. It's exploding. Now, by the way, this is what they're doing at the same time their president is waging an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, bombing multiple elementary schools, bombing hospitals, poisoning a city of 10 million people by bombing the oil refinery, making it rain toxic oil, giving people Gulf War syndrome, hundreds of thousands probably, right? As all that's going on, Strait of Hormuz closed, gas prices skyrocketing. You got the MAGA commentators talking about butt plugs, calling people micro-penis Mark. They are falling apart, and it is absolutely glorious. It is absolutely incredible. So, but I still haven't gotten to the funniest part. And by the way, yes, I will defend Megyn Kelly on this because, guys, there's an actual thing here, right? Like, there is reason to believe, there's some evidence that Jeffrey Epstein had a fucked up penis. Allegedly, it was sort of shaped like a lemon. That's what they said. A very bulbous, fucked up penis. Okay? There's also evidence Harvey Weinstein had a fucked up penis. Okay? And then you go down the list with a lot of like, they say Adolf Hitler had a fucked up penis. So there's plenty of evidence that some of history's biggest monsters, they were sort of overcompensating for, you know, what they felt like was inadequate manhood. Now, having said that, I'm also sure with some people, it literally works in the exact opposite way. You know, it's like if your parents are alcoholics, you might become an alcoholic, or you might become like very against alcohol because you saw how it ruined their life, right? Like by the same token, if you have a super fucked up penis, you might try to overcompensate and become like a fucking monster, or you might fucking like actually be a wonderful person because you feel like I got to make up in that realm, in that category where, you know, it might not be a woman's favorite thing to have that around. I'm struggling to get through it, but you understand the point I'm making, right? So like, it's not everybody that has that is struggling with that, but there's certainly some evidence that at least it is a thing to have your dick fucked up, and that makes you like an historic monster, okay? So I'll defend her on that because Mark Levin is a fucking monster. I mean, this guy is a demon. He makes John Bolton look like Noam Chomsky at this point. So then, ready for this? Donald Trump comes out, and he tweets the following. Mark Levin, a truly great patriot, is somewhat under siege by other people with far less intellect, capability, and love for our country. Mark is tough, strong, and brilliant, hence the nickname The Great One, conceived by our MAGA friend, the wonderful Sean Hannity, after years of dealing with Mark in legal, media, and other capacities. Mark would often do Sean's show, speaking as a lawyer, and Sean realized then, as did others, that he was special. Mark Levin was not... Jesus Christ, bro. Can you deep throat that micro penis any more aggressively? Mark Levin was not looking to do television, radio, or anything else. He was drafted by very smart people who understood there are few like him. Oh my God, well, he's the worst president ever. He's got the Ted Cruz Weasley voice like this, man. He yells all the time and is totally uncharismatic. He is a true conservative and intellect, far smarter than those who criticize him. But above all, he is a man of great wisdom and common sense who truly loves our country. When you hear others unfairly attack Mark, remember that they are jealous and angry human beings whose sway is much less than the public understands and will, now that they know where I stand, rapidly diminish. He's trying to flex that MAGA might on the likes of Megyn Kelly here and Tucker Carlson. Other than for his wonderful wife and family, Mark Levin only cares and wants one thing: greatness and success for America. Oh, please. That guy is Israel first times a trillion. Who are you kidding? Those that speak ill of Mark will quickly fall by the wayside, as do the people whose ideas, policies, and footings are not sound. What the fuck? They are not MAGA. I am. And MAGA includes not allowing Iran, a sick, demented, and violent terrorist regime, to have a nuclear weapon to blow up the United States of America and the Middle East, and ultimately the rest of the world. Oh my God, Grandpa lost it so hard. Dude, this is embarrassing. MAGA is about stopping them cold, and that is exactly what we are doing. God bless our great military, which I have rebuilt, blah, 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 blah. It goes on. Jesus Christ, bro. So what happened here was, he went crying to the refs. He went crying to mommy and daddy. He got called micro penis Mark by Megyn Kelly, and he fucking texted or called Donald Trump. And I'm being unfairly attacked for supporting you, Mr. President, and defending your Iran war. Can you please go out there and say I don't have a micro penis? So I'll get right on that, Mark. I'll say you have a massive schlong. I'll say that thing is really big. Thank you, Mr. President. I think I'm at least of average size with my penis. That's right. And me too. I have the largest penis, the most normal penis anybody's ever seen. That's right, Mr. President. You also don't have a micro penis. I know. People tell me that all the time. They say I have small hands. I say, what are you talking about? My hands aren't small. Something else is big. Let me tell you. That's what I always tell them. All right, Mr. President, thank you. Then he goes out there and writes this sycophantic fucking homie is straight up glugging on that bitch. And then, ready? Mark Levin comes out and quote tweets Trump's thing and goes, Mr. President, I am beyond humbled by your words and graciousness in writing such a beautiful note and sharing it on Truth Social. I am honored that you took the time to write it. Your courage, strength, and moral clarity are truly unparalleled. Donald Trump's courage, strength, and moral clarity? The guy who was charged with 91 crimes and convicted of 34 of them, the adjudicated rapist, the fucking pedophile war criminal pig? Oh my God. And your leadership has made our country and the world much safer. Both you and what you are doing deserve our support, and I will not be intimidated or bow to threats. Through your insight and steady hand, America has been made great again. It is an enormous honor to know you as my family and I do, and call you, Mr. President, our friend. You're one of a kind, truly remarkable. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my God. Guys, everybody sees through this. We know who you are. We know what you're doing. We know you called Trump and cried for his help, and he came out and said that. But guess what? Trump is losing the juice. Why do I say that? He didn't even mention Tucker Carlson, and he didn't even mention Megyn Kelly by name. That was not an oversight. He did it on purpose. Why? Because he knows in the back of his mind, I'm on motherfucking thin ice right now, dog. I got, what, a 36% approval rating? I waged an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. The country is revolting. Gas prices are skyrocketing. The economy's falling apart. He knows I'm getting close to the breaking point here where if I were to go after Megyn Kelly, if I were to go after Tucker Carlson, some percentage would go, I don't know, I'm kind of with Tucker and Megyn on this one, right? Nobody likes Mark Levin. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? All that guy does is scream with his nasally voice about how we need to attack another 7 fucking countries. That's his show every night. Let's do more war. Let's create the Fourth Reich. I love the axis of Epstein. Yes. Like, that's his show. So he knows he doesn't have the sauce anymore, which is why he didn't mention Megyn Kelly by name. He didn't mention Tucker Carlson by name. He realizes some percentage are going to dip on me again now, and I'll go from, 36% approval rating to fucking 32% approval rating. So, yes, as of this moment, the base, it's true. 80 to 90% with Trump on this war. That is true. But the commentariat is split down the middle. And a lot of them are against this Iran war and criticizing it and criticizing Israel, and a lot of them are not. But they're too heavy. Like, I'm telling you, the hand is too heavy right now. And this war's popularity is only going to go one direction, and that's fucking downski. Okay? So, they think Trump is, like, magical, right? And he can escape, like, literally any and all consequences, even, like, just, public consequences in terms of the amount of support he gets. That's not true. That's not true. Which is why, Gallup stopped doing the polls. Why? I guess because he got hit with a 29% banger already. They said, we don't want to release this. He's going to investigate us. And so, man, they are out over their skis. Final point I want to make here. Let me just show you this. Mark Levin over the years, you're not going to be surprised to learn. This guy was not, with like Jeff Sessions, who was for Trump, like from the very beginning. Quite the opposite. This guy, and here's a great example, Mark Levin, I would never vote for Trump. April 9th, 2016, conservative radio host Mark Levin says he will not vote Donald Trump in the general election. So because he was, he did half the time criticize these wars a little bit, right? And said, we shouldn't waste our money in the Middle East like this. He wasn't a free trade guy. He was more like, protectionist in his arguments, the tariff bullshit. This is all against right-wing doctrine and orthodoxy. These guys were always fucking like a skeptic and critical of Trump. Now they ride his nuts because he's tanking this country and the presidency with an illegal and offensive war against Iran. And what Mark Levin cares about is Israel first. He wants Iran to be destroyed, Israel to get control of the entire Middle East, and for Israel to become a global superpower. And they're using Trump to those ends, right? And Trump's too stupid to realize it, and he's in too deep. And so now he rides with who's around him. Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, all those fucking idiots. But I love watching the Civil War. I love watching them go at each other in these vicious, vicious ways.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.